In 2020, one of the most sophisticated cyber attacks in history hit US government. Hackers didn't blow through a firewall, they didn't crack a password by force. They walked right through the front door using a trusted software update. And for 9 months, nobody noticed. Around 17,000 organizations were compromised, including the Pentagon, the Treasury, and Homeland Security. And the scariest part? The old security model they were all using was working exactly as designed. The problem wasn't the hackers. The problem was the assumption that anyone already inside the network could be trusted. That assumption has a name, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why it gets companies destroyed and what replaced it. Hello everyone, welcome back to NC in Cybersecurity. If you are studying for a cybersecurity career or you just want to understand how the digital world actually works, please do consider subscribing my channel. I put out videos like this every week to make the concepts simple and easy to understand. For decades, cybersecurity worked like a castle, like building strong walls, and that's your firewall, digging a moat, that's your network perimeter, putting a guard at the gate, and that's your login screen. The logic was simple: keep the bad guys out, and anyone already inside, trust them. They got past the gate, and they are one of us. This made sense in 1995 because when your employees worked in one server building and has only mostly cat pictures in the internet. But today, your employees work from coffee shops, home offices, airports, and your data live across different clouds like AWS, Azure, Google, and 15 different SaaS applications. Your network doesn't have walls anymore. And attackers figured this out. They don't break down the gate. They steal one employee's password through a phishing email, a fake login page, or a data breach from another company. And then they walk right in. Once inside, the old model hands them the keys to everything. The SolarWinds hackers stayed inside the US government networks for almost 9 months because once they were in, the system trusted them completely. And that is the castle model failing in real time. Zero trust is the answer to that problem, and the entire philosophy fits into four words: never trust, always verify. That's it. That's zero trust. Instead of checking identity once at the front door, zero trust checks identity at every single door, every room, every file, every system, and every time. It doesn't matter if you are inside the network or outside. It doesn't matter if you logged in 5 minutes ago. Every action, every access request gets verified again and again. Think of it like a hospital. You don't just show your ID at the entrance and get access to every ward, every medicine cabinet, every patient record. You are checked at every stage. A nurse can access patient files, not payroll. A doctor can prescribe medication, not access the IT system. Every person gets access to exactly what they need and nothing more. Now, apply that to a company's entire digital environment. That's zero trust. Zero trust sits on three pillars. You don't need to memorize technical terms, just understand what each one does. Pillar 1: verify every user every time. This goes way beyond a password. Zero trust uses multi factor authentication. So, even if your password is stolen, the attacker still can't get in without your phone or fingerprint. But it goes further. It looks at context: where are you logging in, and which device you are using, what time is it, is this normal behavior for this person. If an employee normally logs in from Europe at 9 a.m. and suddenly someone tries to log in from Vietnam at 3 a.m. using that same account, zero trust flags it. It blocks it, even if the password is correct. The SolarWinds attackers had valid credentials. Under zero trust, the behavioral analysis would have caught them logging into the systems they'd never accessed before at unusual times in unusual patterns. Pillar 2: least privilege access. Give people access to exactly what they need, nothing more. In the old model, a mid level employee might have broad access to shared drives, internal systems, databases because it was easier to give everyone access than to manage it individually. But Zero Trust says no. A marketing manager gets access to marketing tools. not engineering systems, not HR databases, not financial records. This is called least privilege and it's devastating to attackers because even if they steal one employee's credentials, they are locked in a tiny box. They can't move laterally through the network. They can't reach crown jewels. In 2021 Colonial Pipeline attack, ransomware spread across the entire network because accounts had far more access than they needed. Least privilege would have contained the blast radius. Pillar number 3. Assume breach, monitor everything. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. Zero trust doesn't ask, how do we stop attackers from getting in? It asks, what do we need to do when they are already in? Because they will get in eventually somehow. So, Zero Trust logs and monitors every single action inside the network, every file opened, every system accessed, every data transfer. If something looks wrong, an account accessing files it's never touched before, data being copied in unusual volumes, a login from an impossible location, the system catches it fast. The SolarWinds attackers had 9 months of free movement. Under zero trust continuous monitoring, they would have been caught in days. This zero trust isn't just theoretical. The biggest organizations in the world have already moved on to it. Google built their own internal zero trust framework after being hacked by China in 2009. They called it Beyond Cop. Today, it's the foundation for how Google employees access internal systems and with no VPN, no internal network trust, just constant verification. Microsoft, US Defense, Amazon, every major cloud provider now operates on zero trust principles. And after SolarWinds, the US government issued an executive order mandating that all federal agencies must move to zero trust architecture. Here's what it looks like in practice. A remote employee opens their laptop at a coffee shop, then tries to access a company file. Zero Trust checks, is this a recognized device? Yes. Is this a device security software up to date? Yes. Is this the normal location for this user? No, it is unusual. Is multi-factor authentication confirmed? Verified. Does this user role require access to this specific file? Yes. Then access granted, but logged, monitored, and if anything changes, revoked instantly. Now the same scenario, but an attacker with a stolen password. Unrecognized device, unusual location, MFA not confirmed, role doesn't match, file being requested. Access denied immediately. Alert triggered immediately. Security team notified. That's zero trust working. Here's why this matters most. Whether you work or not in cybersecurity, every company you interact with holds your data your bank, your hospital, your email provider, your phone carrier. And right now, many of them are still running on the castle model, still assuming that anyone inside the network is safe. Cyber attacks increased by 40% nearly in 2026 globally. The average data breach costs around $4.4 million dollars, and in the US over $10 million. Dollars. But it's not just money, it's your medical records, your social security number, your bank account, your private messages. Zero trust is what stands between attackers and all of that. And for anyone building a career in cybersecurity right now, zero trust is not a buzzword, it's a mandatory skill. It's showing up in every job description, every interview, every certification. Understanding it isn't optional anymore. Now let's recap zero trust in 3 sentences. 1. Never trust, always verify. Every user, every device, every access request gets checked every time, not just at login. Second, least privilege. Every person gets access to exactly what their job requires, nothing more, nothing less. This contains the damage when something goes wrong. Third, assume breach, monitor everything because attackers will get in eventually. The question is how fast you can catch them and how little damage they can do. That's zero trust, no jargon, no fluff. The old model trusted you once and left the door open. Zero trust never stops checking, and that's exactly the point. If this video opened your eyes, the rabbit hole goes deeper. The same zero trust principles that protect companies from billion-dollar breaches are what cybersecurity professionals are paid to implement every single day. If you are studying for a cybersecurity career or you just want to understand how the digital world actually works, please do consider subscribing to my channel NC in Cybersecurity. I put out more videos like this every week, and do drop a comment telling me which company breach scared you the most. I read every single comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.